Go on.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Weston. How are you guys doing today? Now, I know we are down to the point that all of you have been waiting for, to see this Cummins drive. Now, we have had some difficulty. We had a couple of our memory cards for our camera get corrupted. I think they must have been watching too much Lisa Ann or something, and it just got into the bad part of the internet, and they just decided to go to hell. That being said, there is a couple things you guys did miss out on, but it wasn't nothing too big. We'll run through them here in a second on the video, and you guys can see what we've got done since the last time you've seen the truck. Look at it. It's almost done, isn't it? Except for that and that and that. Yeah, we don't want to look at the list. It's a little bit long still, but, well, we've got a little bit done since the last time you've seen the old Cummins. Now, basically, it's just been all the small stuff. We got the engine oil pressure, coolant temperature sensors all on this side of the engine. We got plug-in for our solenoid hooked up right, mounted all of our relays and our fuses. Got a new pulley on the front of the engine, so our belts lined up and everything. That's going to be awesome. That way we don't eat belts. I think we've kind of figured out how we're going to run our radiator hoses. I don't know quite yet until we get the radiators in here. This is the one off of the 6.4, and expertly cataloged that down there. And this is the one for just a regular 97 Dodge diesel. I've kind of run into a conundrum, and what that conundrum is when I put the battery box on this side, that D-gas bottle is going to be sitting right here in the way of the intercooler tubes, or I could take and turn the air horn around and come around the front, but then I got to worry about it hitting the fan or anything like that. So what I'm going to do, I think this is the best idea, and kind of seems like the best idea to me, is I went and got one of these inline radiator hose caps. Now, nobody actually keeps these around, and I could have ordered one off Amazon, and they're like 30 bucks. So instead of doing that, I went down to O'Reilly's and bought a upper radiator hose for like a 2001 Dodge Dakota, and they have these in the middle of them. And so I just cut that hose up and took and got this out of it, and we're going to take and stick it in there like that. You know, obviously we're still going to have to cut our hoses anyway. We're going to have to cut this hose, and we're going to have to cut that hose to meet them up to each other so the radiator and the motor will fit. Instead of having a bunch of cuts, we'll just have this one right here along with our radiator cap to fill our antifreeze and everything up with, and then we'll just completely get rid of that big D-gas bottle that Ford has there, and we might put an overflow bottle down here or something, just an aftermarket one or some of that effect. That will give us a heck of a lot more room in there to run our intercooler piping and all that, and it kind of simplifies the radiator hose situation. Down here on our bottom radiator hose, this is one for a factory Dodge pickup, and I think it might be on there backwards, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to use that. I might just I think I can cut up the factory Ford radiator hose and just stick it on the nipple on the bottom of the water pump, and that might just work fine. But we're going to see once we get the radiators in here and kind of see how all that stuff leans out. That's a lot of technical talk, but we're going to set the radiators in here and see how everything fits. Before we do that, we do need to put our fan on though. We're going to put our fan on, then set our radiators in and see how everything's going to go together. I have good hopes. So we got the radiators in the truck. Now they're just kind of sitting there. They ain't fully bolted up yet, and the reason for that is we're still trying to figure out how we're going to make intercooler tubes work. I should have enough because I've got about 15 different intercooler tubes, it seems like. This isn't even all of them. I've got a couple more laying out behind the shop too. We've got enough bends and turns and couplers that we should be able to make something work. We've got factory intercooler tubes off of Dodge, we've got them off the F700, and we've even got the ones off of the 6.4, which we're going to need as well. Especially for this one right here that turns into this intercooler, because that is a hell of a turn, and unless it's crushed down just like that intercooler tube is, we can't get it to fit in between the radiator support and the radiator.
That is a monster radiator, by the way.
That is a monster radiator. That thing should cool this Cummins with ease. We won't even need that fan. We're going to try to figure out what we need to do with these intercooler tubes. We also need to figure out what we're going to do with the downpipe on the exhaust.
There you go.
We also got to figure out what we're going to do with the exhaust. This is the one off of the 6.4 liter Power Stroke that came out of this truck. I think we're going to, well, looks like it's had better days, but we don't mind a bend or two. We're going to put a couple more bends in.
I grabbed in there, look at my fingers.
Yeah, that's all right. That's diesel for you.
At least my camera's blocked that way.
Yeah, you can't tell. That's like my shirt. I can wipe off right up here, and it's still black. Anyway, so we're gonna have to figure out how to make this downpipe work as well, and let's get after it. Can't be that hard, can it? Okay, there, she's cut up nice and pretty now. We do have to clean her up a little bit because there's some sharp edges in there. And we don't want none of this stuff flying through her engine either, so. Let's clean this up. We're live and in charge with Westen Champlin. I am your host with the least, and here we're gonna see intercooler tubes come together. A match made in forward inventory hell. There that goes. There that goes. And I really think, maybe, come here, my friend. That might just work. Question is, will it hit the hood?
Take the hood off.
Then they can't hit the hood if the hood's not on. That's a good answer. All right, so we have got our intercooler tube on the passenger side. We got all that fitted up pretty good. Now all we got left to do is the one on the driver's side. But before we got too far, we was having a little bit of a problem with the tach being jumpy. So we've been trying to troubleshoot that. We actually lost the tach completely and ended up, we had a grounding issue. All the computer and everything was be grounded through one wire on the fender, and that fender wire was really hot. So we figured out there was a ground unhooked someplace else. I crawled around all over the truck and finally found two grounds that were unhooked on the passenger side of the frame that go up to the body. So the whole body of the truck was be grounded through that one wire there on the fender. So we hooked them up, we got our tachs in the back, but it's still just a little bit jumpy and not exactly how we want it. So I'm gonna get down there and try to adjust that sensor. We did adjust it to, I think 50 thou or something like that, but I'm just gonna try to slide a business card in there and just get it where there's enough room it don't hit, but it's still close enough to pick up the signal. So let's try to get this done. This is Garrett's reaction. Oh! Yeah, it works.
It just didn't feel right yet.
It just didn't feel like I'd made the right time to fix it yet?
Yeah, just like, so there's some times when I just get the feeling that you're about to get it, and you're about to fix it. It's just like I didn't have that feeling yet.
I can't fix it.
I figured it out.
You know how many times that happens? We finally got the tachometer sensor working, and it's working correctly, so we can get the rest of this truck put together and get it down the road. Now Ford had this bright idea that they would put snap rings as hose clamps. It's a wonderful idea. Actually, it's not that bad until you go to take them off and they fly about 300 feet and then you can't find them forever. What we're trying to do is, since they have these special connections on the radiator, you can't just stick a hose on there and call it a day. You've actually got to use this end connection. Actually, I got another connection up here. I can show you how they fit together. Because it's actually kind of
expertly cataloged.
That's expertly cataloged. The radiator has a nipple like this on the bottom of it.
Don't try to suck on it.
Yeah, don't try it. You'll get a mouthful of coolant or water. And they stick together like that. Then you put this little snap ring in there to hold it, and that holds it together. Now, they're a pretty good design. They're kind of neat, but they are prone to leak. You can't just use any radiator hose in a pinch. You kind of got to cut it up and kind of do this deal. So what we're going to try to do is
expertly cataloged again.
Yeah, I'll come back to it, don't worry. What we're going to try to do is our bottom radiator hose, our nipple is going to be right here, and our water neck for our Cummins is going to be right here. No, not there. It's going to be right here, sticking out like this. So we're going to cut off this hose, try to stick it on to the Cummins nipple, and just clamp it down and call it a day.
At least that's the plan.
That's my plan. I think it's a good plan.
Man, did you measure that?
Yeah, I measured it. I did that German measuring. Oh, that seems good enough.
Cut the hacksaw.
You goddamn. So we're up here at the cemetery where we park all of our forgotten projects, and this is the F700, the motor that we actually stole our Fummins swap Cummins out of. And I can't seem to find a flange around here anywhere close, and besides it's dark outside and it's late, so we're going to try to cut this flange off this exhaust on this downpipe. Now this downpipe's not going to work because it'll actually hit the starter on our pickup, since the starter was on that side when it was in this truck. So we're going to cut off a little bit of this deal, take that flange down there, see if we can weld that to our pickup downpipe, and see if we can make this deal work. Maybe.
Few inches later.
Come on! My God, you jerk. There we go. Got it. Who needs a sun when you got a moon you can work under? So we're returning from the parts store with our, what the hell is that? Look at that, is that a Pelican? So we are back from the parts store, otherwise known as our junkyard, and we got us a exhaust flange housing, so let's see if we can make it fit. Oh yeah, just like that. So as you can tell, this is the flange that came off the back of our turbo in the F700. There's a little bit of difference there. This one here is like the Rock, and this one here is like Kevin Hart. Just the pipe's just a little bit too small. Well guys, I don't think we're gonna be able to get her done tonight, but that's all right. Basically, there's not much left to do. There's that exhaust for the downpipe. We gotta get some flanges for that. And I've gotta get an intercooler boot for the driver's side intercooler tube. Besides that, pretty much everything is hooked up. Oh, I also gotta get a fitting for the radiator hose. That's probably been the biggest thing that's been a hindrance on this truck, is it's not been the major stuff, it's been the small stuff that's you gotta run around and try to figure out and all the things like that. But there is one thing I wanna check before we get too far. We've got pretty much everything bolted together and everything working good enough to do a test to see if the transmission works. So this truck has never moved under its own power while I've owned it. I don't know if the transmission's even gonna work at all. It is got transmission fluid in it. We did blow a little bit out, so it's a little low, but it should still have enough to work. So we're gonna fire it up and at least see if it'll back its way out of the garage and pull itself back in. I installed my light really well on this one. First time this hood's been shut in a long time. Down she goes. All right, let's do this. All right, guys, do you think she's gonna move? I sure hope she does. Oh my God, it's so nice in here. I forget how nice this thing is in here. All right, let's start it up and see how it does. Ooh, the blower's blowing good today. Oh my God, it's such a torque monster! It moves! I'm so happy! I'm not even joking you. This is like, this is the happiest I've ever been about this truck. Because I put the foot down and like I hear that Cummins noise and it lurches forward. Oh my. I'm speechless. I really don't even know what to say. It moves. It really moves under its own power. The first time it's ever done that the whole time I've actually owned it. And trust me, Bob wasn't back there pushing it back in, trust me. So guys, leave a comment down below what you think we ought to do with the Cummins after it's done. We've got a lot of plans for some power mods to make her make more power. We've got some plans for some mods to make her look better. And just any neat ideas you guys could think up with that we could go do with this. My idea is we take it to a Ford dealership and see if they'll change the oil on it. That was a comment, so if one of you commented that, I did see your comment. I thought it was funny, and we might actually do that. That is hilarious. As always, hit that like button if you like the video. If you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button because this is just the beginning for this truck. And I've got a lot of cool things I got planned to do with it. I guess I'll see you guys next time.